Thank you, Jeremy, for joining us.
You.
My name is Jonathan. I live up here in Canada. I've been super interested in following Gemi's journey. She was recommended to me by a mutual friend, Paul Cotter. And I've had the joy of getting to know Gemi a little bit of her story, a little bit of her journey. I've watched her videos. I've invested in her program. So I thought it would be really interesting from my perspective to tell other people the journey that I've discovered, that James has discovered, that Emily's discovered, and a few other people as well. And so, Gemi, first of all, as soon as everybody hears your accent like my accent, we ain't from California.
No, we're not.
So let's hear a little about where Gemi comes from, because I know it's not what people think.
Well, I am from Barcelona originally, right? I'm from Catalonia, and is northeast of Spain.
Yep.
And we like to be our own.
Yes. Yes.
But I live and enjoy California. I love being here, and I created my business, and I feel like it's the best time of my life it happened here in California, at least professionally.
I'm with you. Yeah. So you married an American, you came here as a spouse, you got your green card, you learned to work in California. So now this is home.
Yes, now this is home.
Okay. So what I love about Gemi, everybody, is that we all have a story, and Gemi's story is incredible. I mean, I learned that Gemi has a PhD, and your PhD again is in?
I don't like to define myself with this education.
I know you don't, but
we have this conversation many times. So.
I know, it's just because what it tells me is you're an amazing student at learning. And what you've done is you've taught yourself something that nobody else was able to teach you, and which shows your ability to learn, but it also shows your ability to teach. And Gemi has this amazing story, which is quite sad. That you literally had. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just in the beginning was sad.
Oh, it was just in the. Yes, of course. Yeah. But Gemi had a major trauma in her life because of external circumstances that she couldn't control. And it affected your brain, right?
Yes. My brain broke. I mean, not physically, but yes. Somehow the brain is filled of connections and wires. And the wires, when they are all connected, the body functions perfectly and there is no problems. When one of those wires get unhooked or detached from the central nervous system, our brain loses connection with the body. And depending which one is this wire, the body stops functioning in one area or others, right? Like that's why people has mental health issues, or that's why people has problems with their health. It can be from diabetes or autoimmune disorders or any kind of problems. It's because our brain doesn't send the right signal at the right time, and then the body stops functioning perfectly.
Got it. So that's what happened to you.
In my case, it happened, and a series of things stopped working.
Yes, and obviously, some of the background behind that was that your father, who you were very close to, had cancer, I understand. You went through this incredible adventure of adopting a little girl out of Haiti in the middle of a coup d'etat when everybody said you can't even go in the country, let alone get a passport. So it's not surprising that there was so much going on. But what's most interesting was that you told me that the doctors just went, no idea, right?
Oh, yeah. Because when that happens, I mean, like, of course, there is a wire that gets disconnected or more than one wire, but they cannot pinpoint specifically what it is because it doesn't leave a trace.
Yes.
Like they can see that something is really wrong with you, but they cannot see what is it because they cannot open the brain and see, oh, there is this. No. And then that's a problem because when that happens, usually the body is exhausted. And emotionally, you are not strong. You feel more depressed. The tendency is feeling more depressed. So usually what doctors do is prescribe antidepressants.
Right.
In my case, I was lucky enough that because the doctors couldn't diagnose, They said, we are not going to give you anything because we cannot say what it is, right? And I knew I wasn't depressed because, you know, like my body wasn't functioning. In my case, that was not what happened.
Yeah.
For other people, it will show up more like a depression, and then is when, you know, like they will get the prescription. So I was lucky that that wasn't my case.
Yes.
Yeah.
And at that time, your body, you struggle with being outside, you struggle being in sunlight. As a woman, your body wasn't functioning as it should at that time of age. So you were in a real state, from what I understand. But you weren't willing to just give up. You wanted to find an answer of, you know, what caused this, and also what can I do without drugs to get over this, right? And I think that's like the whole quintessential part of what makes you you, and what you've come on to do now is your desire to learn about how to fix this without, you know, a bottle of pills kind of thing. So you've looked at the mind, you've looked at the body, you've looked at nutrition, you've looked at exercise. Because if I look at you now, I mean, you're a picture of health. I am doing my best to get to that place. I'm a little behind the game, but I'm learning fast. So tell me about how you put that journey together of nutrition and exercise and mind exercises to really get you into a healthy place.
Well, one of the gifts, because I think that that's a gift that we have, is our intuition.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, when my weight started dropping, and I felt like my body wasn't, you know, like healthy enough, and, you know, my period stopped. I start growing hair in my face. I mean, like, because there is malnourishment. When there is no nourishment, it kind of, that happens. I mean, the body starts functioning very weirdly. I knew by intuition that I did that to myself. I knew that. So I thought, if I did it, I can do it. Right? That was my thing. And also, I mean, I had 2 kids. I was single mom of 2 kids. My dad was still alive, really sick at that point. And I didn't have the luxury of not paying attention to what I was going to do. So I had to study and figure out for myself what I was going to do.
Yes. Okay, understood.
And I did study and read a lot and do a lot of research. And because I was very familiar with Ayurvedic medicine, and all the alternative medicines point to the same direction, which is healing comes from food.
Yes.
Right? And food sources, and
yes,
where are we buying our food, and where are we going to feed ourselves? And that was the first thing. Of course, at that point, exercise was out of the question, because my body couldn't function.
Yep.
Barely walk upstairs. So, but yes, really did.
Okay, and then so eventually you moved from Spain to California, you met your husband.
Mm-hmm.
You were studying the American medical system of how doctors are literally just prescribing a pill for everything, and you already had this knowledge of how you'd effectively cured yourself. And there was a frustration around nothing wrong with the medical system, and doctors are overworked, and there is a solution for every problem. But you saw a different solution than most people, right?
Well, what happened is, yes, in the beginning when I moved here, which I was already healthy and doing well and with no problems, health problems, because this is the good thing about our brain, is almost can recover and go back to 100% functioning from anything.
Okay.
Like, if we give time to our body and brain to heal, it will go back to normal, because the brain always remembers how to function.
Yes.
How to put things together. And when I moved here, what are the odds that I start working as a business director in a behavioral health facility, and I saw how that worked. I mean, that everybody was being prescribed the same type of medication, stimulants, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, and something to wind you down at night.
Yes.
And I was horrified.
Yeah.
I mean, that felt really, working in a place that was so far from my beliefs, it was hard. It was difficult for me to be in peace with it, right?
Got it. Yes.
And later on, when I had all my education and my certification in nutrition, I thought, you know, like I cannot do that. So because they wanted me to stay working there, they said, do whatever you want. So they allow me to work with patients to give them advice and nutrition guidance. But I still felt really out of integrity telling them, eat kale and don't forget your prescription.
Right.
Right. So I like to be very truthful to myself, because if I don't do that, it's just nothing works for me.
No. And there are so many diets out there, and I notice people now are starting renaming diets lifestyles. So obviously there's a keto diet, there's gluten-free, there's plant-based whole foods. I mean, there's lots of different ways of eating, but eating's a big part of it, but also exercising and also mindset and having a plan around all of that. And you've brought all of these three elements together, right?
Yes. If we don't have, we can order our brain to do whatever we want, but we do it from our mind. So if our thoughts are not in the right direction, it's not going to happen for our brain, because we have to put our willpower there, be consistent, create a structure, create routines. And that, of course, food helps, but the mind is first, right? The mindset and the thoughts in that direction. Yeah.
Got it. So I'm not seeing lots of videos of you cooking now and using different. I mean, your website's beautiful with all the different recipes that you have and all the colors of the vegetables and produce that you put together. I mean, it looks like a masterpiece on a plate the way you eat, because there's all these different food groups that you bring into this. And it's not as if you're saying, you know, carbs are bad or sugar's bad or you can't have gluten. I mean, you've found a way of being able to live a normal lifestyle, but making the right choices. I saw a video you did the other day about when you go to the supermarket, plan ahead for what it is you want to achieve. So do you want to tell me about that, planning ahead a little bit in the supermarket? That was interesting.
Yeah. So one of the things that many people has the tendency, and I'm sure that people that is listening will relate with that, is that if we go shopping when we are hungry, we are so much more prone to buy junk food, because what happens is we go for the fast thing, and the fast thing is usually processed, and you will find those in the middle aisles. So what I always do is I always go through the aisles that surround the supermarket, right? Like usually produce is on the right of the door, and you just keep going. You will find cheeses and the meats and fish and all of that. And please close your eyes when you are right before the register, because they have the cookies there.
They're doing the candy, yes.
Yeah. So it's just do the shopping around the supermarket, around the surrounding aisles. And also meal prep is very important. So the meal prep starts with your shopping list.
Yeah.
A clear idea what you want to cook this week, create a shopping list, and stick to the plan. Don't go off the shopping list, because then you are not going to do so well.
Okay. I'm just looking at my phone because we're obviously broadcasting on Facebook, but we're in a meeting room called Zoom. That means we can record this. And so I'm just looking at the Facebook to see if anybody actually has any actual questions that they'd like to ask you. We're at about a 30-second time lag between you and I chatting and Facebook getting it. So now that we're here, I can see there's at least 4 people in the room. We'll see what questions people might have. But one question I have 3 children, all of which were nursed by my wife for the first year, because that was the advice that we were given. If they were off dairy for the first year, they really would probably not get any allergies. Totally true. All through their childhood, not one of our kids had an allergy to anything. But in the last 3 years, they have all developed quite severe allergies, one to eggs, one to sesame oil, and one to gluten. And I think it's because things have just been so messed up. So is eating organic the right way to go? Is gluten bad? I mean, I'm just hearing so many people now with food allergies, or certainly food insensitivities. What do you see about that?
So allergies are always developed because our immune system is not strong enough to fight whatever external threat comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of these, it doesn't mean like we have an immune system weak. It just means that our body doesn't tolerate so well certain type of foods.
Okay.
Usually are foods that create inflammation. When the body creates and develops inflammation towards something specific, fights it with creating more sensitivity inside. So
Right.
those problems can create from bloatiness, you know, like more mucus, you know, like uncomfort, constipation, more gas. Those are the typical little things.
Right.
When those things are not addressed, it increases. It can increase exponentially, and that can go towards other foods sources, right? It doesn't have to be the one that originally is. But yes, there is inflammatory foods that are mainly cause of potential allergies of food sensitivities.
Yes. Yeah.
Gluten is one of them. Gluten, sugar, dairy, those three are highly inflammatory. And then we have eggs, which is also inflammatory, corn in less level, but also still inflammatory. Soy is another one. And of course, alcohol.
Yes. Although I think I saw somebody said that some red wine is good for you, right? Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, you know, like everything with measure is good.
There you go.
Like if we say we are eating bread that has gluten, but is whole grain, and you don't have any problem, because whatever is inflammatory, it doesn't have to be inflammatory for everybody. It's potentially inflammatory, but some people process it better. In my case, I'm not processing gluten well, so I haven't been eating gluten for many years.
Right.
Some people process it well, so I will never take people off if they are used to eat something, and that something doesn't cause any problem.
Got it.
We have to be more like very personal. Everybody has a different body, so not because I don't eat gluten, it doesn't have to work for somebody else's. I will not assume that.
So over the last few years, you've helped a number of friends with their eating plan, with their exercise, with the whole mental routine to sort of get them into a more balanced lifestyle, if you like. And through this, it's become a passion project for you, but it's now become a business passion as well. And you started studying under a mentor by the name of Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know a little bit about that journey as well.
Well, I have been working. I worked in the behavioral health field for 4 years,
right?
And then I created my own business because conflict of integrity with that, and that was 2.5 years, 5 years ago. After that, yes, I found that I was missing the part where the science of the mind works with that.
Yeah.
And then is when I met Bob Proctor and his education, and I became part of his inner circle, and we study the material, and everything is about the science of the mind, how to change your mindset to create the kind of life that you want, or the kind of body that you want.
Right.
Yeah.
So coupled with that new mindset training, with the nutrition and the body balance and exercise, you started helping some professionally you help some individuals, but now not only have you been able to help one-on-one people as private clients, that you've got some group training, and you've also got an opportunity to actually train other people to help other people as well. So it's not just you anymore, right?
No, so I've been working with one-on-one clients for the last 2 years very intensively from all around the world, because I had clients in Australia, I had clients in Canada, I have clients in Europe, I have clients here in California, and everybody needs different things, so we work differently for each specific case.
Yeah.
And now, because talking with Bob Proctor, he suggested that I should be certifying professionals to do what I do, because he said what you are doing is very specific, and there is no other people that does this kind of job. And if you die, it will die with you. Mm-hmm. You have to train people to do what you do. And since, you know, like my main goal and the reason the most of people comes to me is because they have unhealthy habits and they don't know how to change it, or they are taking medication for years and they want to go off medication.
Right.
In those cases, I always work with their doctors. I will never do that by myself, but along with their doctors, we have conversations, we talk, and we have helped the client and patient to go off medication, and that's been very successful. And I am especially proud about this part, and I need a lot of people. The world needs a lot of people to do the same for others, because there is nothing else in the world that brings you more joy and more satisfaction that have people go off medication.
Got it. So you're able to sort of not only help people heal themselves, but then help them go and help other people get healed.
Yes.
Wow.
The program is the Dynamic Nutrition Specialist, and it's a very specific program, and it's based on brain education and mindset through healing the entire body and their entire lives.
Wow. So how long? So dynamic
nutrition specialist.
A dynamic nutrition specialist. Okay, DNA. So how long does this course take?
The course, it takes 6 months. So in 6 months you can be a certified dynamic nutrition specialist. But from the half of the course, you start doing practices inside the program. We provide practice subjects and outside the program, and you get a taste of what that will look like. And it's very exciting for people to go through that process, because then they have more a clear grasp of how that will feel. You know, like you get somebody that needs your help and you help them, and you know, like that changes lives, and that's the most rewarding thing. Yeah.
Wow. And I know you've been doing this with James, and James has now gone through your program, and he's going to be helping other people in his world as well. So it's obviously a model that's replicable. So if someone was interested in this and they want to know how much it costs or exactly the time commitment, how is that best? How are they best to get in touch with you?
Well, the best thing is to send an email to James or to myself. It's gemi@nourishthebrain.com or james@nourishthebrain.com.
And Gemi is Gemi. All right. And then what would the process be? Was that they'd have a phone call with you and a Zoom meeting or something like that? Or?
Yes. Usually what we will do is set up a phone call. We will have a conversation, and whatever is more comfortable for them, if they want to pay in full or if they want to pay in split payments, we are very flexible, so we don't have any problem to accommodate everybody's needs.
Fantastic. One question somebody asked me here was about hydration, and obviously we've had a lot of rain in the forecast of late, and now it's getting warm again. How much? I mean, we always say, you know, you need to drink more water, but from your experience, I mean, how much water really should we be drinking without having to run to the bathroom like every half an hour all day long kind of thing?
Yeah. So what happens is there is all these theories about drinking a gallon of water, right? That first off is unrealistic, because who has that time? Right? There's a lot of water, and they might be doing it for a short period of time, but at some point they will get tired of doing it, and people cannot be consistent with that routine. But the best routine water drinking is 8 cups of water, like a bottle of 20 ounces or 16 ounces, four times. That will be like 8 cups of water a day, and that will be plenty, and it's a really reasonable amount of water.
Okay. So if you drink other fluids like coffee or tea or green tea, does that count towards your water intake or not?
Not coffee. So if you drink coffee, coffee is a dehydrating drink. So it, you know, like there is this theory about drinking coffee that is healthy. Is not so healthy. Coffee depletes the adrenal. It causes a high in the moment, but then it crash. And also is a dehydrating. So you have to think that per cup of coffee that you drink, you should be drinking 2 cups of water.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Tea is a little bit different because it doesn't have that big amount of caffeine, but still is not considered water. So when we talk about water, it's just water.
Okay. Got it.
It's not soda. Doesn't count. Soda doesn't count either.
Soda. Oh my goodness. I stopped drinking soda about 2 years ago, and what a difference. Now I find that even the diet soda that I used to think was healthy, as I understand it now, even that's not healthy, right?
No, it's not. I mean, diet soda is very tricky because what happens is you check the label, the nutritional facts label, and it will say it has 0 sugars, and it's true because they don't put sugar, but they put aspartame, and first off, that one is cancerous, and second of all, it will trigger your pancreas because it's still very sweet.
Right.
It will still release insulin and fat in your body. Yeah.
So even though you're not having sugar, yeah, you might have a few less calories, but it's not helping your system.
Well, calories from the drink itself, in the moment, yes, it doesn't have calories. But what happens is every time that the pancreas gets triggered and releases insulin, at the same time releases fat. So it's not the fat that the calories have in the drink, it's the fat that your body makes to protect you from the insulin release.
Got it. Wow. But I mean, I could talk all day and ask questions. I'm just keep looking at the Facebook. We don't have any more questions. We've been online about a half an hour. So I'm going to wrap it up, but I'm going to put some links on the Facebook page for your contact page for how people can get in touch with you or James. And then it's I know you. It's a non-committing call. I mean, you're just here to help. And this is a fit that you can not only you can help someone, but you can help them help themselves to make an income to help other people. I mean, that makes total sense. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's very, very exciting. So Gemi, thank you so much for your time today, and thanks for experimenting with our very first oh my goodness, my Apple Watch has kicked in and calling somebody. It's a wonderful thing. Excuse me. Okay, great. So as I say, I'll put some links on the Nourish the Brain Facebook page. If you're watching this as a recording, just go back to the Facebook page. You'll see that link. And I know Gemi. I've known her for quite some time now. She really is the real deal, and she's here to help. And not only will it help you live longer, feel better, have more energy, be a better spouse, be a better partner, be a better grandparent, whatever that might look like. There's also a way to help other people at the same time. I mean, that's amazing. So, Gemi, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll speak to you again soon, I'm sure. Okay, bye for now.